Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for August 9th. Currently looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This particular pair moved much higher on Friday, closed higher, but did gap up at the beginning of the session and has moved lower, retracing the gap, which is to be expected at a 89.1% chance that does occur, and of course in this case it did. Now, what are we looking for as far as this pair? Looking for this pair to continue moving higher with a bias to the upside, although with the fact that we gapped up and we had such a large run up to the upside on Friday, we could very well see it drop lower, and I'm definitely looking to trade that if it does occur. Look for this pair to potentially move as high as 98.37, possibly as low as 94.37. Look for some resistance around 98.00. Look for some support around the 96.00 level. Now, switching over to the Euro USD pair, this particular pair moved much lower on Friday. It did complete moving between the points that we talked about early or mid last week, dropping below our two dojis and heading further down. It even closed much lower than I had originally had anticipated, down by close to previous support anyway. Definitely look for this pair to possibly move as high as 1.4501 and possibly as low as 140.67. Look for some resistance around 142.30 and look for some support around 141.42 in this particular pair. Now, switching over to the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair closed lower during this last session. I do anticipate it coming on down to previous resistance that would now be support during this next session. Look for it to possibly go as high as 169.42, possibly as low as 165.40. Look for some resistance around 167.31 and look for some support around 165.86 in this particular pair. Now, switching over to the US Swiss, this particular pair moved much higher on Friday, closed higher. Definitely look for this pair to continue overall moving sideways with a bias to the upside. Look for it to possibly move as high as 169.42, possibly as low as 165.40. Look for some resistance around 167.31 and look for some support around 165.86 in this particular pair. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, let's go back to the US Japanese yen pair. We had talked about how this pair gapped up. A large probability that this pair will continue lower to complete the gap, which it has done, but there's also a decent probability that it will continue lower. If it does so, I'm looking for a short around the 96.95 area. I want to make sure that it drops below the 97.00 level by a good amount. Then I'm looking for it to tag this particular session's high, hitting support there. At that point, if it does that, we're looking at around 108 pips worth of movement for this particular pair, which I could definitely see we had over 150 last time. Now, if you're going to look at doing this play, you need to keep in mind that we have some previous areas of support and resistance. The entry would be a little bit below this previous resistance here. You may want to tag this resistance right there as far as the open and close right here around the 96.64 level around in here, so that you will want, basically when you're about 30 pips up or so and we're hitting this level, probably be a good time to go to break even. And just keep in mind of some of these levels as you continue lower. If this pair does move to the downside, you want to be cognizant of these areas, so if the market starts to pull back, you'll have reasons to continue moving your stop into more and more profit. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.